hosting this year's World Indigenous Business Forum at the end of the month. The annual event has been running since 2010 and serves a platform where Indigenous business leaders, entrepreneurs and advocates can network and collaborate to promote Indigenous-led economic development. Up to 500 local Papua New Guinean businesses will be attending, alongside over 600 Indigenous businesses from all around the world. The New Zealand health body, Te Whatu Ora, is moving to check the safety of hospital laboratories around the country. This is in response to workers being exposed to toxic fumes and typhoid and delays that have jeopardised patient care. An internal document shows the health agency expects it will need a comprehensive fix to deal with what it calls significant risks. Phil Pennington reports.
Labs are struggling with rising demand and some with old, cramped spaces that do not vent properly. This comes on top of staff shortages that delay when patients get results of treatment. The health agency says it has inherited these risks from the district health boards. It says growing demand is putting more pressure on facilities that may not be fit for purpose. The first ever lot of safety checks nationwide will include how hazardous substances are being handled.
In world news, the Secretary-General of the United Nations is warning that the situation in Israel and Gaza has the potential to deteriorate quickly. Antonio Guterres says more than 800 Israelis have been killed and there are 130,000 Palestinians in UN shelters in Gaza.
I'm deeply distressed by today's announcement that Israel will initiate a complete siege of the Gaza Strip. Nothing allowed in. No electricity, food or fuel. The humanitarian situation in Gaza was extremely dire before these hostilities. Now it will only deteriorate exponentially. Medical equipment, food, fuel and other humanitarian supplies are desperately needed.
The Secretary-General is urging both sides to allow access for aid to get through. In sport, rugby will become the first sport to use smart mouthguards in elite matches to manage concussion. World Rugby has confirmed that the new head injury assessment technology will be worn at this month's WXV women's competition before being brought in worldwide from January. Meanwhile, France captain Antoine Dupont's chances of playing in their quarter-final against South Africa at the World Cup have been given a massive boost when he was cleared to resume training today. That's your latest RNZ Pacific News. For more on our stories, go to rnzi.com.
A couple through the middle of the round, and that was about it. And yeah, I'm happy.
The Irish rugby team has received some encouraging news on their injury front ahead of Sunday's World Cup quarter-final against the All Blacks, with lock James Ryan and backs Robbie Henshaw, Keith Earls, Matt Hansen and James Lowe, all showing improvement that should have them in contention for the game. Meanwhile, rugby will become the first sport to use smart mouthguards in elite matches to manage concussion. World Rugby has confirmed that the new head injury assessment technology will be worn at this month's WXV women's competition before being brought in worldwide in January. Koe nā ngā pūrongo hākina kina, Pāti Sports News.
I'm Catherine Ryan on 9 to noon today. We're in urgent need of thousands more nurses. Safai has a new training facility for them sitting empty. We speak with an Invercargill man who couldn't read until his mid-50s. What motivated him to learn? Botanist Robert Dennell's wanderings around our weird and wonderful species in the Forgotten Forest. And Tom Clark on the amusing, inspiring, tragic and largely forgotten stories of New Zealand's past. With me on 9 to noon on RNZ National. Now, the forecast from Met Service to midnight in the west from Northland to Manawatu, also Coromandel Peninsula and Taihape, cloudy spells and a few showers. Bay of Plenty and Taupo, fine, some cloud this morning. Gisborne, Hawke's Bay, Wairarapa and Horowhenua to Wellington, fine at first, but showers spreading northwards with a southerly change this afternoon and evening, maybe heavy. Nelson, Marlborough and Canterbury, fine this morning. Isolated showers from afternoon, widespread and could be heavy in Canterbury and Marlborough. Then at Westland, a few showers north of Hokitika clearing this afternoon, mainly fine to the south. North and central Otago and Queenstown Lakes, fine. Fiordlands, Dunedin, Clutha and Southland, showers becoming isolated this evening. Chatham Islands, showers. In the main centres, Auckland partly cloudy, a few showers, fresh southwest winds and a high of 17. Tauranga a fine, fresh southwesterlies easing this evening, 18. Hamilton partly cloudy with a few showers, fresh southwesterlies ease this evening, 17. Wellington showers from afternoon as northerlies turn strong, southerlies, 17 the high. Christchurch cloudier from afternoon with isolated showers. Southerlies turn easterly then and then die out, 13. Dunedin cloud at times with the odd shower clearing to fine this evening. Strong southwesterlies easing this evening. A high of 11. You're listening to RNZ National. It's 10 minutes past 8.
Thank you, Nicola. This is Morning Report. Well, Labor has called out National again over its fiscal plan, saying it doesn't add up and a third more cuts would have to be made. Now, Labor says it will require cuts of more than $3 billion every year. 6,000 public servants will lose their jobs and families will be paying more for services such as early childhood education, public transport, front 13s, as well as higher inflation, interest rates and local body rates. Here's Chris Hipkins speaking to Morning Report earlier this morning.
National's failure to be able to deliver any kind of answers on their fiscal plan means that the cuts they're going to need to make to public services that New Zealanders rely on are going to be significantly greater than they've been saying. So $3 billion a year in cuts to public services is huge. Take agencies like the Department of Conservation or Customs. These are agencies that are delivering frontline services that will have to cut the number of people delivering frontline services if our national government is elected.
National's finance spokesperson Nicola Willis joins us now. Good morning.
Good morning.
Your response to the $3 billion cuts, can you rule out that you'll have to make deeper cuts?
Absolutely. This is completely baseless, and it's from the same box of recycled rubbish that the desperate Labor Party has been trying to sell all campaign, and that's because they have no record of their own to run on, except for the fact that they have broken every single spending limit that they've ever set themselves in the fiscal plan, which has added fuel to the inflation fire, loaded up debt, which has gone from $5 billion and is going to hit $100 billion, and they have not delivered results for all of that spending. They've overtaxed New Zealanders to provide for it, and we are offering a different, better way to New Zealand.
Let's look at some of the issues they've raised. Interest deductibility for landlords. They say your calculations are based on an interest rate of 2021, when interest rates were very, very low. And now, of course, they are 5 or so % higher, and you're $100 million out as a result. Is your numbers in your fiscal plan based on that 2021 figure?
Well, the other change that's happened since then that they don't account for is that there has been a significant reduction in residential property investment. So what we did when we took our number was we made a conservative assumption based on previous levels of residential investment, and then we had our number independently checked and verified by external consultants.
But can you answer that question? Was it 2021 figures, the interest rates, when they were, down around 2-3%?
We based it on the best information available at the time.
So you would acknowledge they have been, the interest rates are a lot higher now, so the landlords who do claim deductibility will be claiming more.
There are fewer people claiming the deductibility, Corin, that's my point.
Yes, I understand that, but we were speaking to QV today, and there are already, they're saying, a lot of investors are coming back into the markets. There's no reason to think that trend won't reverse again.
Well, we are confident in our costings. We have provided significant buffers in our fiscal plan, more than $9.9 billion of unallocated spending to allow for overs and unders that occur in budgets and to ensure we have the money to fund frontline services and to deliver tax reductions.
No, I understand that.
Now, I think we should talk about Labour's plan.
I will, I promise I'll let you have a chance to respond to that in a second, but I'm curious about the investment and landlords issue, because isn't it your whole purpose that you've reduced the bright line test, you're bringing back deductibility to increase the amount of landlords and investors who come into the market in order to increase, the available rentals? That's the purpose of it, right? So surely you're going to see, you may run the risk of it there being a much bigger bill for the interest deductibility.
The purpose of the change we're making is to reduce the additional costs that would otherwise be placed on landlords that they have indicated they are highly likely to pass on to tenants. We've seen rents go up $80 a week on average since these new taxes were introduced, and we want to stop that relentless climb that's really added to the cost of living for New Zealand
Will you
renters.
compel them to do that? How do you guarantee that they will pass on those the amount of money they will benefit from in rents? How do you guarantee that?
Well, what we can guarantee is they will face lower costs for renting out their properties than they have under Labor, and then they would under Labor's plan, which would see their costs increasing.
Are they going to reduce rents, though? I mean, I think
they will not be increasing them by as much as they would under Labor, which has plans to increase their costs significantly. We've seen that. The evidence is clear.